Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Chatter Squadron, your weekly dose of Star Wars fun and positivity. My name is Tyler Bucks.
And I'm Logan Honsaker.
And welcome to another episode of the new live show. Woo! Look at this. We are closer to the background now. You know, things are changing around here already from the beginning. But what are we talking about today, Logan?
We are going to be starting off with a Mandalorian recap, like usual, giving you Tyler and I thoughts on yesterday's episode of The Mandalorian.
Mm-hmm.
Spoilers. Always got to say that. There's going to be spoilers.
Yep, we're coming for you, spoilers. You're up next.
We are always coming for the spoilers.
Yes.
Then we are going to be discussing Lego Star Wars, The Complete Saga.
Now, why are we talking about Lego Star Wars, The Complete Saga?
Well, I'm glad you asked. It came out in November 6th of 2007, which was yesterday.
Oh, man, we're late.
We're late. We're 13 years and 1 day late.
If only we were doing an episode when that came out that exact same day. But we were playing that game 13 years ago together. So we'll talk a little bit about our history because it's kind of rooted in Star Wars and playing games together.
Yeah.
So what else are we talking about or covering today?
We are covering, well, before I got to avert our eyes right here.
Yes. The new Tiny King / Queen of the Tiny Chair of Tiny Victories right here on the throne. Logan, who is this?
This is Commodore Jonathan Marroquin.
Yes.
Or just Marroquin. I could be butchering that.
Yeah, I mean, who knows? Someday we will find out. But yeah, you can become the Tiny King / Queen of the Tiny Chair of Tiny Victories by becoming a patron at patreon.com/Chatter Squadron. I almost forgot what our own Patreon is. Oh no. But you can support us there and you'll go on the tiny chair that will go behind us right here in the middle on the set. And you'll live there for as long until somebody else dethrones you. But we really appreciate that. But I noticed something when I walked over there, something else that's there.
What is that?
It looks like art.
It looks like art. It is art. Look at that. That is our Mandalorian art that we have right now for this month. Again, it is titled Redemption, and that is by artist Chris Christodoulou over at Acme Archives Direct. That's where we get all that art, and you can win it.
Yes, by going onto our Facebook and sharing the playthrough of this video. So when you go to our social media, you'll see us hyping up each video. So going on Facebook, sharing this video will be able to enter you to win that at the end of the month. And also, we'll be giving away a lot of art as this goes on. Like every month, there's going to be a new giveaway.
Every month?
But yeah, so you can win this murderous young baby back here by becoming a patron. No, you can't do that. See, I got thrown off by the murder baby by sharing the Facebook video. And then you can go down there by becoming a patron. I got to get my point.
Share, patron, share, patron, patron, share, patron, share.
I got it. I got it completely here. But speaking of The Mandalorian, it's time for spoilers. So spoiler. When you see jazz hands, that means spoilers are on the way.
Well, I noticed last episode, it was the spooky. So I was doing a lot of this. And then I was also doing like type and share. And it's like, we don't know which one.
What's spooky? What's typing and sharing? It matters on what you're sharing. Right. That's the point. But yeah, so we had another episode of The Mandalorian. Logan, we talked about this a little bit before we started. Kind of another episode where we both went, yeah. Well, I mean, it was good, but it felt kind of filler again. Are we going to get lambasted and thrown off the internet for saying that? But it felt to me a little bit like a filler episode again.
Yeah, and I know, like we said with the first episode when we were discussing it, is like we would want nothing more than for it not to be a filler. You know what I mean? Like if all this obviously, which I'm assuming. Hoping that it will tie in later in the season, rather. But yeah, it did. It does feel very, very filler and kind of. But I'm a sucker for world building. I love world building, so I love seeing. Now we have two monsters. You know, the first one we had the Crate Dragon. Now we have the what is it?
You literally just Googled it.
I know,
and now I don't.
It's
remember.
with a K.
Yeah.
Creekna.
Creekna. It's a Creekna.
There it is.
But yeah, it
the
did.
Big spider.
That was the best part of the episode, but we'll get to that in a second. So just as a quick recap, getting through, we were back with Mando on Tatooine. He got ambushed. I liked how he shot that little guy up in the air with his jetpack. It was
Right.
pretty fun. And then he walked all the way to Mos Eisley, which is not a good walk.
No, I
If
feel
you've
like
ever
that would be a hike.
if you've ever walked to Mos Eisley wearing a full plate of armor, it's not fun. I've done it.
Wearing a full plate of armor, carrying
Yeah,
another full plate of armor.
basically. He gets there, and then basically, what was the actress's name who played
Amy Sedaris.
Thank you. So she was there again. She wanted the crate dragon meat, which I found very funny.
Right.
And then she gets Mando to take this frog lady to go and take her to her husband. They can't jump into hyperspace. So there was a lot of stuff going on.
Because of her eggs.
Because of her eggs. But the thing about it is, and this is where the criticism comes in, Mando is kind of doing just what people are like explaining to him. He's like, have you seen a Mandalorian? Well, I can tell you I have on Tatooine, but I'm also about to try and kill you.
Right.
I have a feeling like that would make me go, I don't know if I'm going to go to Tatooine.
Yeah,
So then he goes all the way to Tatooine, and then he, comes back. He walks all the way back to Mos Eisley. Then he talks to this lady who is trustworthy, the mechanic lady,
Right.
and then says, hey, take my friend and all this stuff. Oh yeah, her husband's definitely seen a Mandalorian there. And it's
Right.
like,
it's all hearsay.
right, if it was me, I would be like, once again, I don't
Yeah.
know if I'm going to go with this.
Right. And she even just said, like, it was a bit of a joke in there. She just met her. She just met the frog lady, right? Or was that totally
Yeah,
a
she
joke?
just met the
Because
frog
she was
lady
like, I
too.
bet my life on it, and then no, I just met her. But it's like, I would have stopped right there. Hold up.
Right, I would, yeah.
You don't know this lady?
I would have, this is not the way, in my opinion. But, and especially like that, like, well, I can't jump into hyperspace. And that is what inevitably causes them to run into the New Republic and then run into the ground.
Right, which I thought was cool. I like how dangerous we're getting it is to travel through space.
Mhm.
That would be incredibly dangerous when you
Right.
can't jump to light speed, hyperspeed, what have you.
Mhm.
It's cool. I love all the danger. I love danger. I love all the danger. No, but I love seeing.
Radical.
Yeah, I love it. It's very realistic. Rather,
Yeah. But that's the thing. I'm not, I don't necessarily, I'm not on board with him with all of that stuff going on.
Right.
But we start getting our first taste, I will say, of Baby Yoda being a murdering like psychopath. Is it just me when he kept eating the eggs where I was uncomfortable? Yeah.
No. Okay. So like it's a funny bit.
It is funny.
But
to eat something that's so precious to a loving frog woman. But yeah.
That was the whole stress. They put so, and maybe they did this on purpose. Like I could be missing something. I usually am. And it's like you have, all these eggs. That's the goal. It's like you want to transport me and these eggs. They're very important. We
Mhm.
can't jump to hyperspeed, light speed because of it. And then, so that's like the precious cargo, if you will. Yeah. And then seemed like it was a joke that he was just eating them, right?
Mhm.
Like it was just kind of a bit. And every time I was a little, not uncomfortable, but I was just like, that's her eggs. Like if they started off with 15, he got through like at least half of them.
He definitely, at least half rounding up to give him some credit.
And I feel bad because it's like you're trying to, yeah.
And it gets even worse because we have the rebellion like chase, which is really cool.
Yeah.
With the X-Wings and made me want to play Squadrons again. Which, by the way, if you join the Patreon, much like Jonathan did, who is now on the tiny chair of Tiny Victories on our set, you can play Squadrons with us and we can chat while we play and have a good time. But it made me want to play Squadrons again because I love how much I know about Star Wars, where when they had that shot of the X-Wing next to him and kind of like the peripheral, and I was like, those coils are going to go into attack formation. Just shunk, and I'm like, oh no, it's about to go down.
That was a funny conversation.
Yeah.
I like that. It reminded me very much of like the Han Solo, we're like, are you okay? He's like, we're good.
How are you?
You know,
Yes.
same thing with the Force be with you, trying to kind of blend into it.
Exactly.
And then, can you switch to channel 2? And then
that's never good.
Yeah.
That's never good. That's like when you're in a group chat and then like you accidentally say in the group chat to someone else in the group chat, like, I'm going to text you directly. It's like, why are they texting directly?
We're in the chat.
Yeah. We have a chat. Why do you guys need to talk directly?
We're talking.
But yeah, so that's what happens in the thing. You know, they go into attack position, they chase them down, and once again, and I'm still pointing at these types of things. I even talked about this way back in the first season. Is the Razor Crest just always gets messed up? Basically, every episode, something bad happens to his ship, and I don't know. I don't want to have to do that every single episode again.
Yeah, it takes a beating, apparently. It's like indestructible.
It's indestructible, but also a glass cannon because this thing is like torn apart every episode and then it gets patched right back together. But okay, here's what I will say. Once they did get into the planet, that's when stuff got interesting again, because of the frog lady turning back on that one robot. Right. Which was voiced by Richard Ayoade from IT Crowd and Travel Man. Watch those. But I loved hearing him again. And that was cool.
Yeah.
But what did she say when she talked through the robot? She was like, these are my babies. We are taking so much time to save our children and all this stuff, like this very impassionate speech.
Right.
And I'm just like, Baby Yoda, stop eating the babies at this point now. Like, yeah, it's done now. We've heard it from her mouth how important this is. Like, okay, stop with the baby eating.
Yeah,
please.
Yeah. And then she's like, for the rest of the episode, she's like clutching him. Like, she knows. I even said that out loud. I was like, she knows.
She knows.
She knows.
She knows that is a face of a killer. But then it was so cute though, Baby Yoda. Let's talk about him for a second when he comes around the side of the ship while Mando is working on the ship.
Is that where he's like, pokes his little head?
And it basically is like, yo, she left.
Yeah, like, hey, check this out. She's gone. He only cared because the eggs were gone.
Yeah. Which, by the way, those eggs were like this big. Baby Yoda is like this big. So like, he's got a fast metabolism, apparently.
He just fills up on frog eggs, which he's got a thing for frogs. He likes to eat frogs. Didn't he eat a frog in season 1?
Yes. Yeah, that was one of the first things we saw him eat. Yeah. Right. He has taste for frog.
This was a very Baby Yoda, the child, what have you, the him eating things episode. Because then onto the spiders, the little...
Right. And so we get to the part of the episode where it gets intense, which I was into because it felt very horror movie-esque. This is one of the most, especially live action horror movie Star Wars thing, the closest we're going to get to it.
Right.
Where basically she is bathing with her eggs in a hot spring. And yeah, she cares about these things so much that she's found a hot spring for them and everything.
Right.
Baby Yoda has to go and put a baby spider in his mouth and eat the spider.
He's always eating things.
Disgusting. Reminded me a lot of the xenomorphs, like the face huggers in Alien.
Oh,
because of the like how almost the eggs almost like bloomed and these like white crawling things came out.
Yeah.
So I felt at home because I like Alien and everything. Alien versus Predator.
Right.
Snow. It was snowy. Alien, dude. And Mando had like that heat-seeking like.
Oh, where you could see the trails.
Mando is a predator.
So he's a predator.
Yeah, and then those were the aliens.
It's confirmed. This
is Alien versus Predator Star Wars edition.
We didn't know. Now we know.
Now we didn't know that this was a big crossover episode. But so that started this whole like birthing of a bunch of spiders who started coming after them. And I loved the frog lady shooting her tongue and grabbing her robe.
Right.
That was hilarious. I loved that so much.
And gets dressed in record time.
So fast. Maybe it's just just
a big
onesie, basically.
Yeah, a big robe.
A frog onesie.
Frogsy.
And then it starts your classic horror movie chase where all these things are coming out and they got to book it. But then the big mother probably comes out and man, like what are these things eating on the snow planet to get that big?
They're huge.
Do they eat their own young or something?
Well, I think actually a lot of spiders it's the reverse. The young eats the mom.
Oh.
Actually, not a lot of spiders. That's only a few spiders.
That's a
I think that
generalization.
happens. Right.
We don't want to say something out of turn for.
So if they can all eat the mom, like that's job well done. She was huge.
So somehow, some way. Yeah, and this starts a chase scene, which my mom, if you know my mom, she probably hated all of this because of the spiders.
I hated it.
I'm not a big fan of spiders either, but they were. I have bad arachnophobia, but it was different enough to me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That it didn't really freak me out that much.
Oh, these are space spiders.
Space spiders don't scare. Anything in space doesn't scare me.
It's great. We love it.
Yeah.
Real spiders.
Oh, no. They got to be up there, not down here. Amen.
Above you?
No. Up in the up space up. You know what I'm talking about.
They have to be up in space.
Up in space. Yeah,
and as soon as they come down into the atmosphere, get away.
Once they're in the stratosphere at the earliest, I'm freaking out.
I'm out.
I'm out of here. I'm out of Earth. But okay, so they get back to the ship. They lock themselves in the cockpit, and that was fun with like them trying to break down the door basically, and he uses his
flame throwing it.
Yeah, and then she busts out a little pistol and saves baby Yoda.
Snipes one like right off his head.
Maybe she was trying to shoot baby Yoda in the head. And I was like, ugh, close. Missed.
Yeah. No, I didn't. I totally meant to do that.
Yeah. Oh, whoops-a-daisy.
Looking out for you there, baby Yoda.
But I thought that was...
She's just saving her eggs in his stomach. That's really what's in it for her. She doesn't care about
She can still get those. Right. But I did like that chase. I did like them holding up in there. And then the New Republic saves them. Mm-hmm. Dave Filoni is there again.
He comes in.
Well, looks like we're going to have to help you with these big spiders.
It's like just picks them off. I love how, they just leave them at the end. It's like, how about you help me fix my ship? They're like, no, just fix it up.
Right. Because see, Mando, not everybody is as like easily swayed as you are.
Right.
They why would they help him? Like when he said that, I honestly said they shouldn't help him fix the ship. And then when they actually said, we're not going to help you fix it, I was like, thank you. Why would you help him?
Or they told him to fix like his responder or something like that.
Something. But that's what I mean. It's like, why? Yeah. Oh yeah. Fix your responder instead. And they just got out of there.
Yeah. It's like, how about you just fix it?
Right. Why would they help them in any aspect of that?
They already did.
Exactly.
they helped them so much.
They literally... Mando did a maneuver to basically try and get them to like kill themselves to fit through that small, so it's like they've gone through a lot just to save your life and then say like, you're all good.
Right.
Like,
he's like, well, why don't you help me?
Well, how about you go back in your spider ridden ship and we will never see you ever again.
Fix it all up.
And then they, get in the ship, they pressure lock it. They get back into space. They're flying. I'm like, okay, now what's going to happen? Now they're in space again. They're on the move. Here we go. And baby Yoda eats an egg and the episode ends.
Right. One last egg.
One last egg.
One last egg.
One more time. And that time I did actually laugh. I thought that was kind of funny.
Just kind of like popped it in, right?
Popped it in. Really funny. And then it's like, okay, what's happening next? Oh, that's it? Oh.
Credits.
Okay, cool. And like you said, we like world building. I like the show. I like what they did in the episode. It's just, I want to know what's going on. And when my like feeling with Mando is not one from like empathy, because he keeps making decisions that I personally would not make.
Right. It's like, I would not help that person.
Right. I would not help that person. I would not just go along with this stuff. I would like, because I think even the mechanic lady told him where the frog lady saw like what planet already.
Yeah, right.
So when it's like, okay, you have to also do this and this and this, I'd be like, you know what? Never mind. You told me what planet. I'm just going to go there.
Yeah, like you got the information.
Right. And that's the thing. I'm not saying this in like a negative way, like a mean way, because you do want Mando to be relatable and a good guy and everything, but not jumping through these many hoops to basically almost die every single time.
Yeah, because I would like to see that too. I'm a watch it twice guy. I went back and watched the first episode twice because I find recently, like I used to focus on a lot of like the story stuff, and now I'm watching like the camera movements and stuff like that. Like I remember the first episode when I watched it with you, I think one of the only things that I said out loud was like, "Oh, dolly zoom," like that type of stuff. And then I'll go back and rewatch it, and now I'll like try to focus on the story. So I do want to see that, because if he did get the information, I mean, you still want him to be a nice guy, like you said.
Right.
You don't want him to just be super cold,
right,
and not help people.
But the thing is, when he's not super cold, he gets super cold. Give me a fist bump
right on my bad,
your thorn-ridden hand. Let me punch it from the top.
Get it real.
Logan was stabbed by a Karaka or whatever you just said those things were.
I already forgot it again. A Krikna.
Krikna, thank you. So yeah,
I don't believe that's how you say it.
The episode was good.
It was.
It's just I want something big and splashy to happen that makes me know what the ultimate goal is, because we've mentioned before too, he was looking for a Mandalorian,
right,
in the first episode, but also he's looking for sorcerers for Baby Yoda, and it kind of seems to like flip-flop as to what he's looking for at what location. And then it's also like there's not a driven point as to I need to go here,
right,
and find this person. It is just this, well, I think I saw someone.
Yeah.
Okay, that's where we're going with it. And I don't know, that's just not enough to drive me, because I want to know what's going to happen in the grand scheme of things, not just with some character's eggs that I just met.
Yeah. And like that, we could revisit these characters, and I think
we probably will.
Right, and that could be tied in beautifully, most likely. But yeah, it's like we don't know that yet. You know what I mean? We don't. It's like it's still kind of like, okay, all right, Crate Dragon.
Yeah.
Now they forgot it again. Krikna.
Yeah. This is the episode to just forget the Krikna. I kind of hope I do. I don't want to have that in my dreams.
Yeah, that's terrifying.
But that's something like I think the first season had, where you met Cara Dune, and you met Grief Karga, and you met Quill and IG-11. You met a lot of these characters that you latched onto, and you said, if these people came back, I would like to see them back.
Yeah. You very much wanted to see them back.
So we got that from Cobb Vanth. From Vanth Refrigeration. We're probably going to see him again.
I'd like to see Cobb Vanth Refrigeration again.
Yeah, and so hopefully we'll see some of these characters back that we're getting in these episodes. But
speaking of Quill, Misty Rosas is the body actor for Quill and the Frog Lady in the yesterday's episode.
But that's awesome, because she did an amazing job as Quill. Yeah. And if you have watched the Mandalorian Gallery on Disney Plus, you can see her talk about being Quill and being this character actor. And she did an amazing job. And I was hoping to see her again. Yeah. And once again, she did an amazing job. I hope she worked hard on becoming a frog-like person, being able to jump like a frog, like she did.
Right. When it went to the...
I did love that when it was like, okay.
Well, it makes sense.
Right.
I was like, if you're trying to move, like, start hopping. You cover way more ground.
So yeah, that was our little recap on The Mandalorian. I'm hoping next week, here's my little like plea I'll put out there into the world, that next week, if we get another episode like this, I will jump right back on this horse. But if we get an episode that gives us a lot of character movement and development into the story, I will eat my Kylo Ren cup,
eat it,
and say, finally, I've been waiting for this, and I'm ready to dive back in.
I'm pretty sure, and I don't want to keep just comparing it to season 1, because it's not like they have to be carbon copies of each other. But I think in season 1, it did start to pick up around episode 3 as well, with a lot of like, was that the town where there was kind of like that big shootout type of deal, or was that 4?
I think that was 3, because I think he got Baby Yoda in 1. He went back. He got him out in 2.
Right. No. And then that's when he's walking with him, and everyone's like beeper starts going off.
Yeah.
Beep, beep, beep. I thought that was 3.
It might be 3, or that might have all been put into 2. But that's what I'm saying. Even all of that was big stuff that happened in the first episodes of the show that kind of pulled me along through some of the other filler episodes. So I don't know. I'm hoping that I'm almost like a jet skier right now, waiting for the line to get pulled taut so we can go. I'm just sort of sitting in the water. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm excited to go. It's just we haven't really gone too far yet. But going to the GetVokl chat, let's see. We have Jonathan, who is the Tiny King / Queen of the Tiny Chair of Tiny Victories. Yeah, so he was giving us a bunch of insight when it came to this. He says, now we've seen much of the stuff from the trailers, just not the Imps and Cara Dune, Grief Karga, Mando team up. So possibly that's what we'll get. But I don't know if, because it looked like Cara Dune and Grief were back on the same planet where he got Baby Yoda. And I don't know if Mando's going there next. So
it might be a minute.
Maybe he has to stop off there to fix the Razor Crest and get all the web to be taken out.
He's got to fix it somewhere.
I'm not sure. And Jonathan also says, good episode, but we've had enough filler for the beginning of the season. I agree. And here's the thing. If the show was just this, was just the Mandalorian goes and does things, light things, not even that major of things, I wouldn't care as much. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
However, I do care because I have a lot of expectations for where this is going to go. So that's me tempering my expectations, but I'm also ready to have those met. You know, I'm ready. I'm ready to go.
Well, it's because although it did have that, like we talked about, like it did have that bit of a feel in season 1. Mandalorian kind of does this stuff, you know, Mando does this, but they set up so much. They gave us so much and then ended it on so much where it's like you have, you know, you got to pick that back up.
Now, for the people who are watching, Logan brought, what was this called again?
I think it's like in universe.
Yeah,
Spotchka.
No, this is Spotchka. What do you mean in universe? You actually made Spotchka.
I did.
The drink that Cobb Vanth from Vanth Refrigeration was trying to give to the Mandalorian.
Well, Spotchka's highly alcoholic.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh no, we're going downhill. But yeah, so
I've drank a lot of it.
It's nice and cool. Probably because Cobb Vanth.
Cobb Vanth Refrigeration.
Yeah.
You have to have cool drinks.
Of course. Now let's move on to Lego Star Wars, the Complete Saga. As we mentioned at the beginning of this episode, it is the 13-year anniversary.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yesterday, which would be November 6th, 2007. Yeah, it's May. Whoa, that's it. I mean, hey, this week did feel like it lasted like 6 months, so sure.
I believe it.
But yeah, it came out 13 years ago. And what's interesting about this is because I had this game and I would play this game all the time, and you would play this game with me
all the time.
I probably would play as Qui-Gon or Kit Fisto because I want the green lightsaber, and you were a simp and you would play as Anakin.
Oh yeah.
You
love Anakin.
You want to be Anakin.
I connect with Anakin. I like Anakin. I do.
Do you like sand?
I don't.
See?
I hate sand.
There you go. It's a match made in heaven.
I was at the beach yesterday. I got it all over everywhere.
Oh, why would you even go? So what is Lego Star Wars, the Complete Saga? It is a Lego-themed action-adventure video game based on the Lego Star Wars line of toys. It is a combination of the game Lego Star Wars, the video game, which I also had, and its sequel, Lego Star Wars 2, the original trilogy, I don't think I had. And it spans the first 6 episodes of the Star Wars saga. So when it says the Complete Saga in the title, that's because back then it was the Complete Saga. It was all 6 movies.
In 2007.
Yeah.
That was the Complete Saga.
The game was announced by LucasArts on May 25th, 2007. That's where I got May. At Celebration, what's that, 4?
Yeah.
It was released for the Xbox 360, PlayStation 3, Wii, and Nintendo DS on November 6th, 2007 in North America. A version of this game was released for iOS on the 11th of December of 2013 and for Android in January of 2015. So hopefully, I mean, I didn't check, but maybe it's still on the App Store for people to buy and play if you want to jump into it. But I think we all kind of know Lego Star Wars. It's been such a strong connection between the two for such a long time. But Logan, where did that connection start?
Well, Lego and Star Wars, physical Legos and Star Wars, Their connection started in 1998 with a licensing agreement with Lucasfilm is signed, and the licensing agreement is the first of its kind for the Lego group. So that's kind of the first time we saw Legos and Star Wars team up to be like, yo, let's make some toys. Let's make them Star Wars and let's make them Lego.
Right.
And that's what they did.
I hope that's exactly what was said.
And that's how they said it.
Yeah.
Super.
We have the quote right there.
Yeah, that's the next thing. No. And then in February 1999, the launch of Lego Star Wars is announced at the International Toy Fair in New York by the Lego Group and Lucasfilm.
So 1999 was a big year for Star Wars for a couple reasons. Number one, Lego Star Wars gets put together.
Right.
And that's a little pun there. Lego Star Wars gets put together, but then also the Phantom Menace came out in 1999.
Yes,
I'm always making you gasp on this show.
I just love gasping.
Oh, well, I'll keep trying to do it. Logan, there's a Karakna or whatever the heck is right behind you.
Stone cold.
No, nothing.
No
space,
fear, baby.
Not afraid of space spiders.
That's why. If it was a real spider,
oh man,
you'd have got a gasp.
Well, I won't tell you about the real one over there. So, okay. So the Phantom Menace was coming out in 1999.
Yes.
And what's an interesting thing for me is when my mom took me to go see the Phantom Menace.
Rub it in.
In 1999, she took me to the Walmart across the street first, and I got the Naboo Starfighter. So there's always been this connection between Lego and Star Wars, even from the beginning, because if you remember, that would be the first Star Wars I could see in the theater.
Right.
You know, I would
yeah.
be at 6 or 7. So here I am finally being able to see Star Wars. Then I can go home and immediately make, well, my brothers probably make the Naboo Starfighter and play with it. So it's connected completely between the two of us. But why is that rubbing it in about seeing the Phantom Menace?
I did not get to see the Phantom Menace in theaters. I'm pretty sure I was doing the math. I think I was about 4.5. I was born in 1994 in November.
Yeah,
so,
November 9th. Everybody remember.
November 9th coming
Monday.
up.
He's going to be 82.
82 years old.
But yeah, but that's the thing. You're only a year younger than me.
I think, yeah, I was about 4.5 because so Phantom Menace came out in May. I want to say May 19th, 1999. And you can quote me on that, but don't.
Okay.
So I would have been like 4.5, and yeah, I was I think they thought my mom she told me that I would have gotten scared. They thought I would have gotten scared.
Oh, well, yeah.
In the theaters.
Hearsay.
So, right. I was dropped off at a friend, Kathy Gordon. Shout out you, Kathy Gordon. You watched me when everyone went to go see the Phantom Menace.
Instead of watching the Phantom Menace.
And like, that's the thing. I'm pretty sure I remember because I had seen all of the other, the original trilogy at that point. Like I was into Star Wars at a very, very young age. And, I remember being like, no, like, I think I want to see this movie. And it was like, you'll be scared. You'll be scared.
I mean, I heard that all the time growing up, too, because my brothers and my family were much older than me. So they would see stuff or do stuff. And it's like, no, you'll be scared. But then at the same time, sometimes they wouldn't do that. Like I saw Rambo when I was about 5.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like,
It's like, where's the line of being scared? I mean, I also was notoriously scared of a lot.
Well, yeah, and you just gasped when I said the Phantom Menace, so I'm sure that you might have been.
I'm still scared of the Phantom Menace, actually. So good call, Mom.
Yeah. So what were Lego Star Wars games like before Lego Star Wars became a game? I misspoke a little bit. What were Lego games like before Lego Star Wars was a game?
Yeah, the Lego games were, whether they were on PC or I think a lot of them started coming out for like PlayStation 2, Xbox, the original Xbox. I actually have a list of all the games. They were because they have the early, they have Lego Island, came out in 1997, Lego Chess, the Lego Creator. That is kind of the feel that a lot of the games had before we started, really up until we got the Lego Bionic, or just the Bionicle game.
Yeah.
In 2000 and, I want to say like 3. I knew it.
Sure, you knew it. Yeah, for sure.
3. I knew that.
What's the name of that spider thing again?
The Krykna.
There it is.
I think it could be wrong. It's all subject to be wrong. So yeah, they were very much that creator style. You weren't walking around as a Lego guy.
No.
You were very much out. You were the creator, looking around. You could build, because I'm thinking of Lego Creator with the Harry Potter. The first Harry Potter, you still weren't a character. You were this kind of, what is that? Omniscient. I don't
Yeah.
know.
I don't even know like what that would be, like fifth person instead of third person or first person.
Yeah, you're just kind of around, and then
Yeah.
they got into like we have like a Rock Raiders which I was going back through it, very Minecraft feel, but still very you're out, you're not a character. I think the first time you're actually walking around, and again, totally could be wrong, was the Lego Harry Potter 2. It was still the creator version. And that's where you're kind of walking around as this Lego character in the universe. You're still walking around. It's still very, you're creating the landscapes. You're kind of creating that. And you're just kind of walking through the world. Yeah. You know what I mean? It doesn't feel like it's not like a storyline based thing. It's just, you're there.
Right. And that's the interesting thing. I don't think a lot of people know that Harry Potter did the Lego game thing first.
Yeah.
They were there beforehand. And then, like you said, there was Bionicle video games. Galador. I don't even remember that being a Lego game, but I remember Galador. Jeez.
Right.
And then Lego Star Wars, we finally start getting that filtering through. I'm a big fan of the Lego games just in general.
Yeah.
Even though as an adult, I've only played like the Lego Star Wars games. However, they are some of the best games to play with a whole family.
Oh yeah. I was super obsessed with Lego Indiana Jones. It was maybe one of my favorites. I think over like Lego Batman, I like Lego. I mean, I just love Indiana Jones. I'm super biased about that.
But, I mean, it is kind of like their Tomb Raider, their Uncharted, but for Lego.
Yeah. With
like the best character, the character that everybody tries to emulate when it comes to like adventuring through a cavern type person.
Yeah, my brother. I mean, I know my older brother and his wife. They play Lego Star Wars when they just sit down and game. It's like it's a good, just like you said, family or like party style game, you know, because it's there's what do they say? There's no end or there's no game over. You know what I mean? You can't jump off, you can't fall off and die like too many times. You just kind of lose all your coins or you lose whatever bricks you collected.
Right.
But then you just like back, you know, you just kind of phase back in. You need to blink a little bit. You know?
And then you're back there. But no, you're right. You do blink a little bit. But imagine how feel bad these games would be if it was that like set to the key. Like if you slip up, man, you got to go. You got to start back at Phantom Menace. All right.
It would definitely.
No one would play it.
Yeah, it would take it from this like, oh, this is fun. It's like, don't fall off ever. Stop it.
Listen. Jared,
I
just came up with let's pretend there's a young kid here, Jared, listen, I know you're 5 and I know you can't even reach all the controls yet, but stop falling off.
Do not fall off the ledge,
you're
Jared.
Losing all my coins, Jared. I need my coins.
The red brick?
He lost the red brick?
Or is it a blue brick?
I don't know, but either way, Jared's getting kicked out. Okay, so here's some more info about Lego Star Wars, the Complete Saga, because that's what we're celebrating today.
Yeah.
Well, first things first, it's not the current Complete Saga, so that's the end of the show, everybody. Thank you for coming. That's it. But it's not the current Complete Saga. They either have released or they are releasing the Skywalker saga, which was going to be all 9 films in a Lego Star Wars game.
I want to say that's going to be in 2021. Is this where we whip our arms around?
This is where I whip my arms around and almost knock over my sriracha or whatever you call this.
Spotchka.
Spotchka. See, I was close. Spotchka sounds very Russian, so I should know that.
Yeah, right.
So, but when we're talking about Lego Star Wars, the Complete Saga, it was the 3rd Lego Star Wars game that covered the prequel trilogy as well as the original trilogy. The game had new characters like Plo Koon, Ayla Secura, Amasu, R2-Q5, Watto, Tanwi, Sam Wessel, Boss Nas, and Captain Thorpals. It was.
They all just stayed at Watto.
It also included new levels such as the Bounty Hunter Pursuit from Episode 2, Attack of the Clones. The game included a bonus room, which includes the original pod race, the original gunship Calvary, the never-before-seen Anakin's flight, and the final bonus level from the first Lego Star Wars game, Lego City and its new counterpart, Newtown, as well as a preview for Lego Indiana Jones that you can see with watching it being the only way to unlock Indiana Jones. were you able to play as Indiana Jones in Lego Star Wars? I feel like that's crossing over too many lines.
No, you super were.
Too many lines.
I'm pretty sure I remember that.
My lines have been crossed.
Too many lines.
That's where it is. Another new feature is the 2-player arcade, where you can do lightsaber battles against people from around the world or play a free-for-all game against a second player. I don't remember that.
I don't remember.
No, I don't remember that.
Yeah, it's like.
I think I asked my mom if I could do that, and she said no. Logan would be too scared.
I would be.
I'm like, but Logan's not here. She's like, listen, we don't stop talking about it. Logan might get scared over at his house. Over there. He's a very scared kid.
He'll sense it. He'll feel it. He has eyes.
It's like a disruption in the force. You are just playing with a truck, and then you go, gas. Is someone playing multiplayer video games? Logan,
lightsaber battles.
Logan, stop crawling in the walls. But okay, so I don't remember playing that, but I also didn't play really any multiplayer games, especially as a young kid.
I really don't remember that part.
Okay, so for the game hub for this, like Lego Star Wars 2, the original trilogy, the Mos Eisley Cantina was the game hub. I really remember big time, and I think it was from playing the first Lego Star Wars game, Dex's Diner.
Yes.
Being the place where you would go all the time, and then you would go outside into Coruscant, and you'd have all the ships you're building and all that.
And that's where you figured out which level you wanted to go to, right? That was the whole hub, right?
Yeah, there were the different doors.
Yeah.
And I think in the complete
chapters,
the Complete Saga, you go like through a door, and then you go into, say, Dex's Diner, where you can go into each room. I might be remembering this differently, but I feel like that's what it would be. Like you would hop from trilogy to trilogy, basically.
Yeah, no, that sounds right.
Let's just say that it's right.
We're saying it's right.
Okay, so
we're declaring it.
We're declaring it. But this is an interesting thing, because in a second here, I'm going to get to what some of the differences between Lego and the prequels. I don't know if many people are like continuity experts, like, wait a second, this didn't happen exactly what it was. But I think this is a game that we would play together.
Yes.
And it was so good for young kids, because let's see, what was it? This came out in 2003 or 2007. So what were we at that point? 2007. So I would have been
like 13.
Oh, you got a nice neck crack right there.
Good crack. Didn't even try. Well, I did, but I didn't try the first time. I just moved it.
So yeah, you may have been 13. I may have been 14.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah. Once again, we're declaring it as right. But
declaring it.
Even still, as like young teenagers, you could sit around and play this game because you had so much control over things. You could be the character you wanted to be, or you can try and beat the times for the pod race, or there were so many things to do.
Yeah. And it's very, that's another thing. It seemed like the very first Lego crossover where it wasn't open world, but it felt like it. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, you could, because it would always, at least for me, like the puzzle parts, you could just like, you could do the puzzle over here in this corner of the room. But if you want to just like walk around and break a bunch of stuff, you could do that too. You could definitely waste a lot of time.
Oh, so much time.
Whereas, yeah, you know what I mean? So that was fun too, where it's like, and adding the puzzle aspect of it. Also very cool.
Well, and it was cool too, like when you had a bunch of characters, and if you struck one person, a whole fight would break out. If you started the fight, everybody in like the loading room would start fighting each other.
Just start joining in.
And it's awesome because like that's kind of brutal. Like you're in a bar and you like cut someone in half with a lightsaber, and then everybody just starts shooting each other.
Hey!
But they made it so fun and cartoony, and more so like you were playing with Legos Lego than it was like you're seeing a mass like mutiny between people.
Just getting ripped apart.
Right, getting ripped apart, falling to pieces. So it was a lot of fun. It was like hack and slash with no real like consequences.
It's like when I always say like the children's shows, they'll have like the villains or something be like robots,
Right.
Like Samurai Jack comes to mind, where everyone's a robot. So it's like you can still have a lot of action, you can have a lot of sword fighting, but you're not hurting people per se, you know what I mean? And this is like
robots don't have feelings.
No, they're robots.
Who cares about robots? Am I right, everybody? So here's some fun differences in this game, the Complete Saga, that didn't happen in the prequel films. I wanted to find the original differences, but I wasn't able to locate them. So maybe there was no differences. It was a shot-for-shot remake of every single scene.
They nailed it.
In the Phantom Menace, Shmi Skywalker does not appear, which is
just did her dirty.
Right.
Like dogging her.
I mean, they left her on Tatooine to just die in the dirt.
Right.
And then sand, sorry. And then they don't even add her into the Lego Star. She's not going to get any of those royalties.
Well, also, I mean, like, she's a huge character. Like, that is...
She's a Skywalker. Well, you can't get much huger than a Skywalker.
Also, it's like Anakin's whole driving point at the, the start of, his whole transformation.
Yeah.
Was started with Shmi. And yeah, that when you said that, I was pretty blown away. I was like, how do you leave?
Well, another big one is Newt Gunray and Rune Hako not appearing either, which are like the main bad guys for the movie.
They're riddled throughout the Phantom Menace, and then the rest, you know what I mean, all throughout up until Revenge of the Sith.
This is getting out of hand. Now we're not even in the game.
Oh, it's like, yeah, I don't know how you.
What happened in what didn't happen in Attack of the Clones?
Here's what didn't happen in Attack of the Clones. The scenes where Anakin's lightsaber is split in half by one of the factory's machines is omitted. So it's unknown why he has a green lightsaber in the next 3 levels. It's just like
he has green now.
Now we changed.
Yeah.
He wanted to switch it up.
It's like a mood ring, but a mood lightsaber.
It's like whatever mood he's feeling. It goes to blue, it goes to green.
That's why Sith have red lightsabers. They're just angry.
They're always angry.
That's how it works, everybody.
Red lightsabers and steam coming out of the ears. That's how you know.
Just drop an anvil on them if we're going off of like pure cartoon logic.
The Acklay, Reek, and Nexu are cut entirely, instead skipping to the mace interrupting the event. Two mace interrupting the event.
That is the animals or the beasts in the arena that attack the heroes. That whole scene just wasn't in there, which I feel like would have been a fun scene. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because I feel like they made physical Legos of that scene.
I think they did. I think
I had
they did.
them. I remember
because the Reek had that kind of bionicle thing going for it. That was the big green thing, so it had like the pincers and everything.
Yeah. I was gonna say I definitely remember that. So that is odd that they would not put them into the game.
How are they gonna sell the toys now if they're not even in the game?
Unlike the movie, Jenga and Boba did not try to stop Obi-Wan from following them.
So they're just like,
yeah, we're cool with it.
The problem with that is we don't get the
which is
the
super
seismic
cool.
Charges
Right.
in Lego form. If only.
So yeah, I wonder if these are just little things that they were just like, it doesn't really, you know what I mean? Why take the time?
Well, you got to sit down and boil it down to what is important about the whole trilogy and how are we going to get them from point A to point B in little side scenes that's going to keep a kid interested. It can't go that long where they're not playing the game.
True.
So I feel like 2 to 3 minutes is a good time. If it goes long, now the kid's going to be like, I want to. I'm like, shut up, Jared.
Yeah, Jared, you're back at it.
I thought
how'd you get back in here? Yeah, what? How'd you get through that door? Well, it's just. Yeah, that is because I'm just thinking the lightsaber getting cut in half. I just feel like that could be a very quick cut scene, but it's all right.
What? See what you did there? A quick cut scene. He's just a natural at it.
I don't even try for puns anymore. Puns try for me.
No, that's cool. What does that look like?
I don't know.
Okay, cool. But this kind of before we get into Revenge of the Sith. If you want to go on our YouTube, which you can watch these live streams on our YouTube as well, we did a whole recap of both the original and the prequel trilogy. We did a whole edited together version. So coming from someone who did have to sit down and write a script for like, how do we recap all these movies?
Right.
Stuff does just get left off. And I wanted to bring that up because of the Django thing. There was us just going, he goes to Geonosis and Obi-Wan just follows them and they're there on Geonosis and we're moving on. Right. But then it was like, but we got to talk about the seismic charges. So it's interesting because I'm starting to feel the parallels because it is true. You do want to, just move the story along, but then at the same time you want to bring in cool stuff. But them as developers might have been like, yeah, we don't have to even figure out the physics of this bomb blowing up. Like that might have been a cool, like, yeah, you know what? Let's go past it completely.
Right. Yeah. Save a little bit of work, save a little bit of time, and it adds up. But those were like the coolest noises.
Boom.
You know?
Yeah.
Like
in Revenge of the Sith, Anakin does not get burned on Mustafar, which is odd because he wears the life support suit anyway. I mean, I don't know.
At that point, it's just a fashion statement.
It's a big one. He basically changed his whole ensemble and body.
But he didn't get burned.
It makes sense, though, to be completely honest, because it's a kid's thing.
Well, Legos would melt.
Yeah. How are you going to show that, though, for like a kid?
Yeah. Just a Lego guy on fire.
The deaths, similarly, the deaths of Coyote Mundi, Ayla Secura, Plo Koon, and Stas Ali are not seen, despite 3 of those characters being playable. Another example of understanding, like, are we going to do a whole Lego Order 66?
Right.
See the clones.
That's a whole cut
blow
scene.
up all they turn to pieces. They don't bleed. It's fine.
Play as the fighter behind Plo Koon.
Yeah.
For a level.
Quick, shoot down Plo Koon.
It's like, I don't want to.
I don't want to do it.
I don't want to play this
it's
level.
It's like the no Russian scene from Modern Warfare.
Which one?
Do you ever play Modern Warfare 2?
Is that COD Mod 2? Yeah.
That's the scene where you have to shoot up the airport.
Oh.
Do you remember that?
No.
I'll show it to you later. I have it saved on my laptop. The battle between Yoda and Palpatine does not appear. That's another one that I think might have been a like, gosh, we gotta animate all these things flying and stuff, but that would have been a fun level too.
Yeah, that would have been cool.
Because a lot of stuff you could like try and control the spinning like platforms and stuff. A lot of platforming, jumping around to things. It would have been fun.
That would have been a very cool level.
And in the game, the base on Mustafar begins falling apart for no reason whatsoever, while in the movie it's because the lava barrier is shut off. But I like just them being there has caused catastrophe.
Right, just in
just
itself.
they have shown up and the thing is just like, we can't do it anymore.
Wait, there's 2 of them? No.
Wait, two Jedi and lava? We can only do one at a time.
Shut down.
Shut it down. Shut it down, everybody.
It was like, shut down or just start breaking apart? Yeah, break apart.
Let's break it apart. Break apart. That's a better idea. Just completely fall. I mean, they have to swing on vines somehow.
Yeah.
How else are they going to do it unless we break the whole...
That's how it happens. It just starts breaking. It was on a timer. That's what we didn't know.
That's what we didn't know. Is that why it's like they walked in and you hear one of those like oven?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, oh, time to blow up. Yours
they
a
were
phone.
calling.
Ring, ring, blow up, please. So those are some of the big differences between them. But I think, as I mentioned before, it makes sense why you have to omit some things and just get it through. I mean, pretty much no dialogue is said. Like it's not meant to be like, this is the show, like or this is the movies for sure, just in Lego form. It's just like, we're just trying to get through this.
Right. No one's basing off like what happens in the Star Wars stories. They're not basing it off of Lego Star Wars.
That would have been, I want to meet someone who does that though, who played the games first and then watched the movies and is like,
no.
That didn't happen in the game.
That's not in the game. Take it out.
Take it out. What's up with
put it in?
What's up with all the exploding things and the cool chase? I don't want to see that. That's not in the game.
It's like they're shutting lava barriers off.
Oh, what is this?
It's supposed to just start falling apart for no reason.
What we gotta have a reason for everything?
Ugh.
Oh gosh, give me a break.
Give me a break
of that Kit Kat bar. But yeah, Lego Star Wars is awesome. We're gonna eat a Kit Kat a little bit later. But I love talking about Lego Star Wars because of the connection I have from the beginning. And we did a whole episode of the audio podcast, I think just about 3 months ago or so, where we talk about the whole history of Lego and Star Wars to get a little bit more in depth. But it's cool to see something like this pop up again because it takes you back.
Yeah.
Like seeing like, oh, and well, number one, it makes you feel a little old. 13-year anniversary of this game that you played when it came out, you know. But at the same time, it takes you right back to, oh yeah, I did play that game a lot.
A lot.
Because sometimes you just want to have a lightsaber in a game. You do just want to walk around with a lightsaber, and that was the bare minimum I needed sometimes.
It's like, okay, I want to walk around with a lightsaber. Lego Star Wars. I think I played it a lot for the Wii too, which was cool. It was
Really?
a cool early on Wii game with the, you know what I mean? All the, yeah. Interesting.
You're trying to remember?
I really am, because like I said, I played the, you know, and even that, the way that it branched out the Lego universe, you know, we have things now like the Lego movie, the Lego Batman movie, that I genuinely feel like that always kind of helped started, you know, the kernels. I always talk about the kernels, you know, like in THX, the kernels were there for other things. The kernels were there in Lego Star Wars, even the first one, to branch out into this whole universe of like, oh yeah, people are really interested in these Lego themed games. You know, theme a movie with Lego, make it Lego. People love it, and they do. I love it.
Yeah, because it's diversifying your audience. Yeah, because some Star Wars movies and Star Wars games are a little intense. Some small children might be afraid, but when you reskin it as Legos or it's Lego, fun. Now it's fun, and you're experiencing whatever universe it is. And man, those movies are done so well. And a detail I found, because sometimes, like, you know, when you're scrolling on Facebook and you see those like 10 things you didn't notice about blah, blah, blah. And there's like a red circle around something. Right. Sometimes those get me. They really do get me. And I just look through them. And something I saw about the Lego movies is they will add sometimes fingerprints on the Legos, because it's trying to say like, this is a kid playing this. So like just a little bit of a glare, you'll see a fingerprint on someone's head because kids are putting them together. That's interesting. It's so great.
I love detail.
We are big detail people. And a detail I would like to pass on to people about next week's episode. We were a day off for this one too, because it's going to be next Saturday at 1 p.m. on GetVokl, Facebook, and YouTube. Be sure to check it out, because we're covering Jedi Fallen Order. It is the 1 year anniversary, November 15th. Our episode will be November 14th to gear you up for it. But we're going to be talking about that and reminiscing and looking back on what a year of this game is, especially knowing that there's rumblings that we're getting the continuation of the story. So it's something that we need to look back on and say, was it a success? Yeah, we probably will say that. Did we like it? Yeah, we did like that. But, you know, that's a cliffhanger. That's a cliffhanger. You might not know. Maybe our opinions will change by next week.
Next, in a whole week. 1 whole week, they'll change.
Right, change completely. But until then, we have another EA game you can play with us, which is Squadrons. Like I said, if you become a patron at any level, number one, you get benefits. Number two, you get to be in our Discord, where you can just chat with us and other patrons, other squad members, other pilots. And if you want to be able to be a pilot, all you have to do is watch the show, be a fan.
That's it.
You're a Chatter Squadron pilot. But
now you're a pilot.
You know, if you don't want to be a grunt, if you want to be an ensign, a captain, a commodore, like Jonathan back there, if you want to rise the ranks and help us out making this show every single week for you guys, become a patron, support us monthly. You'll get support. We'll talk to you every single day if you want us to. You'll get some benefits, but also you'll be supporting the show and playing Squadrons with us whenever we find the time.
Right. Super fun game.
Super fun game. And so we'll be playing that, getting ready to talk about another game, Jedi Fallen Order, next week. But yeah, and another tease for next week. Of course, we're going to be talking about the next episode of The Mandalorian.
You know it.
Before we kind of close off, because we have a little bit more time here, let's make a prediction for next week's episode.
Predictions.
Here's going to be my prediction. My prediction is that we are going to see Cara Dune and Greef Karga, because he has to go get his ship fixed.
Oh, okay.
And then possibly they come with him to the planet that he's trying to go to. That is going to be my, just a little thing I'll throw out there that I can come on next week and be, I did it. What do you think we might see? It can be something even minuscule.
I mean, that sounds legit. I think if nothing else, the ship has to be fixed.
Right?
that is my main prediction.
Right.
I was even thinking that, like, I was in this episode was like, could they even fly it? I was actually kind of surprised that they were going to get that thing back up in the air.
Right.
So main prediction, they're going to fix the ship, hopefully.
More solidified prediction. How do you think they're gonna to fix it? Just throw out like a very defined prediction.
Lots of welding.
Lots of welding. There we go.
They are going to weld the ship back together. No, I think. I also think I don't think we're going to see Boba for a minute. I don't think we're going to see him next episode.
There we go.
Cara Dune, yeah. I think it's hard. It's honestly hard for me to even predict because I would have never been able to predict this episode. If you would have asked me first episode what we were going to see next episode, I would have never said giant kryknas,
right?
Spiders,
giant spiders, and eating eggs. I would not have predicted that would be the.
No, the only time I predicted he was going to eat the eggs is like he was eyeing him up, and I was like, "Is he going to eat those eggs?" And then he did. So
he's a little monster.
My predictions are all over the place for this season.
But yeah, if you want to own a picture of the little monster, share our Facebook video of this episode. Share it. You can share it with your friends. You can share it. Oh, look at that certificate of authenticity. Share it with your friends. Share it on groups that you're a part of. Try and get the word out that Chatter Squadron is doing something every single week.
Get the word out.
And tell other people to share the video because they will then be entered to win this at the end of the month. And like we always say, this is from Acme Archives Direct. This is Lucasfilm licensed stuff. And I'm not going to throw out numbers, but these go for like hundreds of dollars.
Yeah, they're nice.
So, and you get your certificate of authenticity and everything because we have one right here for this exact piece. And stay tuned. Always be watching these live videos because you're going to have a chance to win new art every single month.
Bring it back.
Right, every single month. But yeah, probably in December, early December. We'll figure out who won this one, and then it will
be mailed.
We will, it'll
to
be
your
mailed.
home, your apartment, or your Sarlacc pit.
Yeah, it was just thrown down. If you're in the Sarlacc pit, you need a little color on the walls.
You got to decorate that thing. And you're going to be in there for decades
or whatever, thousands of years. But
might as well make it look nice.
And then I guess I'll say I'm going to be a part of the Geekverse charity stream today. I believe I'm going on in about 2 hours at 4 to do a quiz with them. So if you want to go check them out, Geekverse. I don't want to speak out the side of my face there, so I'm going to Google that really fast.
Freak out in front of your
I was going to say it's all one word. Yeah, it's all one word. Geekverse. They're doing a 24-hour live stream to benefit charity, so feel free to check it out. I'm doing a quiz called May the Blank Be With You, and it's going to be pretty fun. So go ahead and check that out at 4 and check us out next week. Anything else?
Sounds good for me.
Okay, awesome. We will see you guys next